What up, world? We're back. I want to talk about documenting how I build domain assets. Sorry, I'm not even in the shop, man, but we're going to do this right. We're going to have a nice video here. I'm going to show you guys how I build my web domain assets. Some of the... I need to exercise more, guys. Right? We need to cut out all this working and live a health wealth. What does Ty say? Either way, we're going to show you guys how to build assets that I think are viable to be able to be sold for more money, regardless of whether your SaaS model takes off. So regardless of whether the website model takes off, because a lot of people out here are playing around with the internet and they're not building viable businesses, but they're giving it shots. But this is just another take on it. This is how I did it. So we have a domain. I want to lay out what it costs and exactly what the perceived value is for sale. So for example, if you want to sell out, right, that's what a lot of companies should be striving for. Not to sell out, I'm sorry, I apologize. I take that back. Not to sell out, but to build something massive that somebody would want to buy, right, because it's so great. So this is what I did with my assets. And I call my domains my assets, so my websites, my wwws, my URLs, whatever you guys call them. There's a perceived value here. There's a cost, right? Let's call it 12. We'll give it the market rate, a higher cost. You can get them for cheaper, but let's say $12 a year, right? I've sold domains, premium domains. I'm out of the shop, but I don't care because I don't want to have the shadow, and I want you guys to see this. So I've had domains that I bought for $12 and sold for $500, right? I gave you guys a story about that, my first domain sale, right? So I understand that the perceived value here could be a lot higher. Right? Let's say it's 500, just to use my examples. What does that mean? Well, that means that this is what the marketplace, right? This is the additional value, right? Over here. This is what you're creating as a business. As a business, you're creating an additional value, right? It wasn't there before. You put 2 pieces, 3 pieces together, and somehow it became there, right? So this is your additional value, right? Compared to what somebody else could buy the same thing for. I put logo here because this is this is my formula, right? Domain plus logo plus website plus social media assets plus other assets. I was writing this out before we start the video, and I want to finish it here because this is the biggest one. Other assets, right? What do I mean here? Well, I'm just going to use my examples because that's all I have to base it on. So I want to document that. You know, on Homescape, I have one business, right, where I deal with real estate. I went through all these procedures, right? I bought the domain, I built the logo, I started the website design. This is also where I create the product / the revenue model, right? And you're gonna test this because you don't know if it's gonna work, but this is, as soon as you build a website, you should know how the website's gonna make money. At least in my opinion. If you're talking about website businesses, we're talking about building website businesses, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So you have, I did this, right? I did the website design, and my goal was to sell land. Then I had social media assets here, which I also included other marketplaces like a Land Watch account, right? Or an eBay account that I could sell my land off of. Now you can do this with any product. I'll show you how I did it with another product in 1 second. So it doesn't have to be real estate. Plus another asset though. So what's the other asset? What's this big circle over here? For Homescape, it was land. Right? So with the little bit of money that I did make, I reinvested into an asset that, at least on my balance sheet, was growing in value, was holding some kind of value. Let me give you another example for products, right? Now, these are extreme products because I thought this idea out, but I'll show you that it doesn't really matter what the product is. Here I sell coins, right? I'm a coin collector. Coins and $2 bills. Collectible money. There's some geeks out there called numismatics. I am one of them. And we collect coins and bingos. But I sell that here, right? What's the other asset? Because I did the same thing. I got the domain, thinkynice.com. I put the logo, I started branding it, right? I did the social media sites first here. But then I put together the web design, which was the product or revenue. I was selling my banknotes. And then what's the other asset here? Well, for here, it was coins. It was coins, right? So on my books, on my balance sheet as a business, I'm holding on to more assets over here, right? As a startup, it's going to be hard to gain income, but the little income you do have, if you're reinvesting it into, this is a hybrid model, right? But into your business as an asset, it's good for you in the long run. So that's coins, right? But these are extreme examples. So this is actually cash. You see the genius here, right? And this is actually real estate. So let's say you're in a stamp business, or you sell banners, or you sell light bulbs, right? Same thing, your inventory is your assets. Now, I want you guys to be careful with this, because when you're talking about building out the domain, right, I'm talking about a total value. So let's get back to this chart here for 1 second. Right? So the cost of a logo is maybe $15, right? And let's say the perceived value is 30 to keep it cheap, right? The point is you can sell it for more. And we can sell it, if you guys want proof of where we can sell it, go to flippa.com, go to mergernetwork.com. You'll see package deals here where they're doing something very similar to this, and they're getting a certain amount of asking price, right? But this line here represents the additional value you're adding to something. Let's say a website, you can get it done outsourced for $75, and somebody on Flippa would buy it for another $100 perceived value, right? These are just, it doesn't matter. There's extremes here, right? This could be a $200 investment that's perceived as a $2,000 investment. So my point is that you're adding assets along the way, and these are all still, to some extent, to a lot of extent, intellectual property increases, right? This is IP, this is goodwill. So when you look at the balance sheet, it's always hard to justify that to anyone looking at your balance sheet, if they ever had a look at your balance sheet. So when you're talking about investors, that's something where they're going to be like, hey, it's so subjective, right? Because we can get it. But then you get to harder assets, like I said, the land, coins, inventory, right? I don't suggest inventory. We talked about this before. I always suggest drop shipping methods when it comes to any kind of products. But when you're talking about your balance sheet, there's certain things you need anyway. Cash being one of them, right? Figure out well, you're obviously trying to figure out how to make cash. But the point of this whole thing is, let's keep going with this thing here. Because I'm thinking this out too, guys. This is my journal, remember that. Okay, so this is the social media assets here. Again, another perceived value, right? I have on Homescape, I've been hustling. I got, a couple thousand followers, whatever the followers is on this account, right? We'll call this FF. This is a perceived value. People sell Twitter accounts. You're not supposed to, but you bet your ass that if, the New York Times, or if Time Magazine, or if any, even the Giorno's Pizza, if they sold their unit, if they sold their business unit, they're gonna sell the social media assets too. They're gonna put that there, right? That's an asset. That's an asset, that's my point. So let's say there's another perceived value, but over here, now, I started getting into things where there were $1,000 perceived values, or costs, right? And 10,000, 100,000 perceived value, right? So as a total, my point of this video is, you can systematically put together an asset portfolio with your online business. But just understand that there's a lot of just software, right? So up to here, that domain plus logo plus website plus your social, there's a lot of that. If you want to go big, right, there's going to be another asset over here. It could be a retail store. It could be some investment. It's either going to be a cash, or it's going to be something you own. So that's over here. But yeah, so just thinking that out loud. Again, this is in the web docs. This is where you put together the revenue model, right? When you have your website design, when you start your website design, and this is where your social media assets. This is where you're attracting the traffic back to your website, right to your logo. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. Okay, guys, we'll talk next time.